Hey everyone, Koda the coming. Time for another edition of Hobby, Toku, and Anime. Yes, Hobby, Toku, Anime begins in 2014, and let's start with a thing that I didn't really want it to do unless we get more information, and we're sort of in a weird limbo phase of information for this product. Yes, chaotic. It's time to talk about chaotic. And before we start the video, just to know, we're going to talk about the overworld today, but just to know, last time we did something that I have to address. Why did I do the human and co-master characters? Because it's like when you have a great show, you need the character development characters first. And yes, the humans and the co-master characters are basically the main point of view characters who are more important for the plot of the show, but the creatures are still a big deal for the card game, which I will now explain with my personal favorite faction, our good guys, the Overworld. Let me explain. There are four factions in Chaotic in the first season of the tribes, being Overworld, Underworld, Damien, Mepedian. Also, there's uh, Meridian, but we don't count Meridian until season 2 because they don't show up in season 2. There's also another tribe called the Tribalists, which you don't count yet because it died right before kids ended chaotic before that happened. So yeah, so we really only have 5 tribes, really 6 if you count unofficial generic, but let me start off with the Overworld. Overworld is basically the blue team, and I'm really wearing red, sorry. But the point is, blue is the overworld symbol, being over designed, a circle with a line basically different to the underworld, which is red circle with a reversed line. Kind of clever, kind of good. Good, bravo. But anyhow, this video, we're going to explain each character from order of appearance. Yes, I will may or may not explain characters' debuts in 2 ways. From their character debut, if I can think about it, and their lore debut. Let me explain. Lore characters are any time we see them in Param. Any battle drum scenes are basically uh, main characters using them, but not really the real characters. So yeah, so we're gonna sort of count each character by their first real appearance and their first battle drum appearance. Got that? Good. Let's start off with everyone's favorite main character, Maxxor. Maxxor is basically the green giant of badassery because he has white and black hair. Great character, good, very good. Basically wearing red leather for his armor. And just to know, one of his best awesome things is he's sort of based on real life warrior leaders where you don't see him in the battlefield, but when you do, you're like, wait, where's the person? Like, it's not how badass he is. But anyhow, he showed up in episode 1. Welcome to Chaotic Part 1. And also, his first lore appearance is in episode 10. Basically, Trip to Castle Bodal, episode 2, part 2. Bodal or Castle, you know what I mean, that. Next up, our next character, which we see. I'm not going to explain all the lore things. I'm going to explain their lore appearance or unofficially one or the other. Sorry for that. Where our next character from Overworld, Nadrin, showed up in episode 2. Welcome to Chaotic Part 2. I'm only doing main character for this video. If there's like a filler character, I will explain them later on, but I'm sorry. Let's begin with Mandarin. He's basically our Gandalf of the series. Very wise, very historic, and great. And basically he has a white beard and blue hair. Base blue skin. Very good character. I love him. Mostly he's in the first time we see him in that episode, he's mysteriously have a reason why he's not. Spoilers for season 3, but anyhow, at the end of one episode, it's revealed that he was in a past life, like the prehistory, which I won't dabbled into that until later. But anyhow, for now, just to know, it's just the prehistory of the lore, which is really not official because we made it to the exposition phase of the lore, but we don't know much about it because it's not yet developed. So yeah, I can't explain that. But anyhow, point is prehistory of Nadrin and reason why he hates all the human characters, basically for that. Tom and Nadri, whatever, which is weird. But anyhow, basically, Nadrin's our Gandalf. Got that? Good. Next up is episode 3. Episode 3 doesn't have any new overworld, but our next character is Heptad, which is sort of an important character in the show, but we rarely see him in the lore. We see him in episode 4, basically being our new main badass slash 4 avatars of the series, where he has all 4 elements, plus he's very powerful. Heptad is basically connected to the Kafka, which is a very important lore thing that we can't say that much of, because if we said it, it's sort of like a backlash because there is things we know about it and things we don't. But yeah, I won't over explain it. But the point is, green skin guy, again, but stocky and a big head body. This character is like the second strongest next to Maxxor in our other ultra rare card from set 1. Got that? Good. Next up, we're only doing main characters, so not until Bodal. And both Bodal and forget his name, but yeah, Bodal. Bodals are basically nerdy slash invest market guy who is like the squire of the cast. Great. So basically, he's basically our main comedy relief for the overworld, like caring for the underworld. But basically, he's your basic nerdy character who's actually a secure, boring as hell, being a armory seller slash squire. But anyhow, he's a great character, like kind of funny, and there's a lot of people who like him. Anyhow, next up is Tangus Toborn. Yes, Tenga Torbone has something I won't explain now, but really, he's very honorable. That's all I can say without spoiling it. But anyhow, Tenga Torbone, badass creature, and Bottle being small and green-like. For basically Tenga Torbone, he's our furry character for the overworld. Basically, his whole characteristic is your basic character who is uh, lion looking character, badass. Later design in season 2. Yes, season 2 changed some character designs. It's his season 2 design. It's kind of drastic because his old look looks like a lion, humanoid lion character, but now he looks badass and freaking Lion-esque. Thank God it was made the same year at the short-lived Thundercats reboot. Not Thundercats Roar. That's the worser one. I'm talking about the one that people liked from Bandai. Sorry, that was a joke. But yeah, that's great. Next up is let me check. Fractal. Fractal was sort of teased in episode 3, but it wasn't until episode 9 where we get introduced to him as our basic cowling bird creature, which kind of is being red and purplish body, purplish belly. Basically, he's your basic wimp slash badass joke character who's an idiot. Yeah, there's a few other characters, but I'm only doing characters with plot points. Next up is Fractal. Fractal is one of lives in Castle Baldrin, which is basically the plot of the second two-parter, Castle Baldrin or Bust. But yeah, just the TLDR, he's basically your strategist slash archery character, even if you mostly use powers for archery. Got that? Good. Next up is Ikizu or Shizu, I forget how you. The female character who's basically a tiger, and Ursus. I think that's her name. Ursus is basically your standard female badass leader, side supporting leader, where she looks like a cat, very badass, great, very tiger looking, great red hair, and very brownish black skin for her mostly brown, but blackish stripes like a tiger. Being your basic love interest for Maxxor and other things. And we have a few more characters I'm going to explain now, which we jump over to a few episodes later. We're only doing main characters who are like very important to the plot, or characters I think are important. Got that? So we have one more character to talk about for this basic information of Overworld, and that is Aparu. Aparu is one of the Overworld's greatest, being mysterious and basically somewhere in the desert of the Mepedian Desert, hidden somewhere. He's basically our Watu the Watcher character from Chaotic for this show, where he just watches over everyone, not really harms conflict unless if it's very dangerous or very deadly, which is kind of great and awesome. But anyhow, there's a few other characters I'm now gonna rapid fire explain briefly, like 5 characters more, which, okay, what to do? Okay, basically, our next character I'm going to talk about is from episode 2. Basically, our water characters, which basically I'm just going to do characters with elements and explain the overworld now with element features. Okay, got that? Good. The elements are basically, there are 4 elements in chaotic: fire, water, earth, air. For overworld, they use all the elements mixedly. Like, all the other tribes have 1 element plus another 2 of the other elements, maybe on occasion, but really, but this this is just for a product that only lasted until the 3rd year. But anyhow, the point is, Overworld has a lot of elements. Basically, they're sort of like our neutral characters of the good guys. Yeah, obviously the good guys have to be neutral. Okay, got that. Basically, the other thing that makes the Overworld kind of badass is they have a gimmick where basically there are a few characters that I like, being the 2 Damien and Mepedian uh, uh, ambassador characters, which, because the overworld can't do underworld because they're both the main good guy and bad guys. I say bad guys in when it comes to being main antagonists, but not really bad for the writing, but sort of. I will explain in the underworld video, but the point is the overworld has ambassadors for both Damien and Mepedian. Basically, the Mepedian ambassador is kind of not important, being a dog chihuahua looking character. Yeah, the lizard race gets a freaking, your ambassador is a chihuahua. Well, that's Beverly Hills bad. Sorry, but the point is, other one is kind of important, being Maxxor's former friend, which is the Damien one. But later in his debut, he becomes from being an overworld into a Damien, which from a Parasite, which I will explain in the Damien video. Got that? Good. Hope you liked the video. Look down below if you like the overworld like me. This is the comment saying, hope you see another video. This is the comment saying bye-bye for now.